What's up? This is Drake Curious coming back with another Elden Ring Nightraigne video. I was going to go over a little updated Wylder build. I had dropped one a long time back, and with the addition of the new DLC content and the new relics, now I haven't got all of them, but there's one that kind of stood out as almost specifically made for Wylder, I would say, and it's in slot 3 here. It's just improved melee attack power and improved skill attack power, and the continuous FP recovery is just kind of okay. You know, I mean, it's not great, but it is there. But the melee attack power is just another flat 5%, and because Wylder is so versatile, that kind of works great because it's not limited. It's just any melee weapon gets this buff, you know what I mean? So it's 5% on everything you do. And the skill attack power is around 20%. So, you know, if you come across like a Rivers or Blood or something like that, any great sword that's got a really spammable, or any weapon for that matter that has a really spammable skill that is strong, it's going to be, and I do believe they stack since it is a melee weapon and it's a skill that a melee weapon is doing. I believe it is 25% more damage on a skill that is cast from a melee weapon. So for him, the king of weapon arts, you know, I mean, it feels like a match made in heaven. So I just had to drop an update on it. I've still got the original, like his top remembrance relic. I was like, I can't see ever not using it for the additional skill use. The fire on your ultimate and stamina recovery upon landing hits, so there's just not anything better. I've still got the second one because it was just such a great, that was a random drop that I got, but have the Evergel on it and more runes and the fiery follow-up for the great sword, which is, you know, great at earlier levels. It kind of loses value later, especially if you find something that's not a great sword, or if you've got an enemy that you don't want to apply fire to or is not weak to fire. It's not as great, but I mean, I just love it for the mobility of it, and I've showed it before. You know, if you do your regular grapple with like a heavy, sometimes you stop short, but if you do a grapple with the fiery follow-up, it not only gives fire, but it gives just such an extra jump of distance that you can close for the hypermobile enemies that most of the time, and you can cover so much distance with it and not consume hardly any stamina at all to do it, you know. And if you've played the game very much, most of the bosses are so hypermobile that every other character, it just feels like you're running to them to hit them once and then hoping that you got enough stamina to dodge, because you're completely out of stamina from chasing them. So I just can't seem to give up that one. But yeah, I was just going to drop that little addition in there. Like, I guess if you wanted to, you know, it's on his chalice that has an anything slot at the bottom. I mean, if you're feeling a little squishy, you could always drop the wood in there for 10% extra HP and the continuous health regen on it, and that would be a really good option. And for depths, that probably might be the best thing to do. But yeah, that was it. I was just going to drop a little update, you know, for that relic. Now, I mean, there's an argument to be made for the new Undertaker relic for the successive attacks, that it, you know, if you had some sort of, or I don't think I do anyway, I haven't been able to find one. If you had something that had a dormant power on it where you could find a fast weapon such as claws or, you know, fist, or maybe even daggers, if you could guarantee you could get that, then the successive attack one that I mentioned previously in my Duchess build guide that I just posted. If you want to look at it, go check it out on the channel. But, you know, it's a 35% attack, and it applies to everything. And I checked it, it even, like if you get a Hand of Millennia with the water flow dance, like it procs off of not each cast, but each individual hit. So like 2 casts of the water flow dance goes max stacks 35%. And I believe that's a bug. So anything that has a multi-hit weapon art on it actually max stacks that for, you know, if you've played Elden Ring, the base game, like the stuff for successive hits stacks off of like each L2 is just 1 hit. No matter how many hits is in the combo that it casts, it's still just 1 hit. So it doesn't stack successives very well. But this new relic, they didn't fix that part of it. So anything that's got successive hits, like repeating thrust or something like that, will activate it almost instantly. So if you could guarantee to get that, it would definitely be stronger relic. And I might swap over to running it anyway. But for greatsword, it wouldn't be too great, you know, because it takes like 4 hits to proc the first first phase of it, which would only be 7%. So you'd be giving up 25% for 7%. But yeah, that's it. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you like the content, you want to see more, drop a sub. It always helps. And if I've missed anything, if you know anything better, drop it in the comments. I always like to improve. As always, thanks for watching.